bike works?
No.
Okay, well, too bad. Today, we're gonna teach you how a bike works, so come on.
Our system is a bike. Its function is to transport people and things across distances with a less amount of energy and more efficiently. It is faster than walking and generates mechanical advantage. Before, people used bike as transportation devices for mail carriers, police, paramedics, and general delivery services.
The following are the main components of a bike. The input component is the manpower of the person pushing the pedals, as well as the pedals themselves. You need a person to sit on the bike and use his or her legs to apply force on the pedals and to rotate them. This is the input force, and it gets transferred to the other components in the system, which converts it to the output force.
One of the main components of a bike are the gears, discs, and chains. The gear disc of the bike transfer the rotating torsion force of the moving pedals to a rotating disc that guides the chain. When you push the pedals, it rotates a gear disc. The teeth of the disc rotates the chain in a loop. These chains are connected to a gear disc on the back wheel. As the chains spin in the cycle, it rotates the back disc as well, which is connected to and rotates the back wheel.
The next component is the frame of the bike. Of course, the bike has to have a sturdy frame to hold everything together, including you. It consists of triangles to make it sturdier. All the components, like the chain set, handlebars, wheels, etc., are fixed to the frame. And on a bike, you need a safe way to steer, and thus, the handlebars, to provide a spot to put your hands while biking, and it's convenient to steer with. And it creates a secure and easy to access spot for the brakes.
Next up, we have the brakes. Brakes add safety to the bike. Of course, you need brakes to ride safely, or you can easily ride out of control and crash into things. The brakes consist of two levers on each handlebar. When you pull on them, it pulls in a metal wire which clamps together to rubber pads to slow down the wheel.
One of the biggest features of a bike, which also adds safety, are the gear shifters. To add safety and efficiency to the bike, most bikes have different gear settings for the front and back gear discs. When you rotate the dials on the handlebars, it pulls in a metal wire which shifts a chain guide at the front or back. This guide shifts the path of the chain, shifting it over onto different gear discs of a different size. The size of this gear disc determines the mechanical advantage, the input force and distance required, and the output force. A lower gear has more mechanical advantage. The user may have to rotate the pedals at a faster speed to reach a certain bike speed, but with much less force. A higher gear setting has a smaller mechanical advantage. You may rotate the pedals at a much slower speed, but it requires the rider to exert more force.
The output component is a back wheel. The wheels are perhaps the most obvious part of the bike. They are connected to the bike frame and rotate on an axle. This is a wheel and axle. However, only the back wheel is the output component, for the rotating force only comes out from the back wheel.
Bikes produce various side effects. Bicycles can hit people or get hit by a car if there aren't any bike lanes. And so people have to build extra lanes for bikes, which can cost more money for the government and also takes more land space.
Another side effect is that since bikes are eco-friendly as they don't require fossil fuels, nor do they create greenhouse gases, instead they use manpower, which gives you an exercise. Thus, riding bikes are environmentally friendly and are beneficial for your body.
Even though bikes are cheaper than cars, they are still much more expensive than walking. They can easily cost several $1,000s, and repair costs is high too, draining your wallet. Also, since it costs so much, it's a good idea to lock up your bike when you leave it alone, costing you more time.
Even though riding a bike a lot is good for burning calories, sitting in the saddle for too long can compress the arteries, nerves, muscles, and bones that are being pressed against the seat, causing strain and stress. This is commonly referred to as a saddle sore.
You can only ride bicycles on favorable terrain. Really bumpy, slippery, steep, wet, and narrow terrain, or just terrain with too much or too little friction on the ground, may not be suitable for biking, and it may just be quicker and easier to walk or run.
Come on.
Bikes can easily get stuck in unfavorable terrain, so there are other alternative ways to biking.
Our first alternative way is to just walk. Walking can go on much more difficult terrain than biking. You can navigate around big rocks, whereas bikes cannot. You can climb cliff faces, whereas biking cannot. You can walk through narrow paths, deep mud, and steep and slippery mountain trails on the edge of a cliff. But biking, that wouldn't be a good idea.
The next alternative way is to drive. Driving with a car will be faster and more realistic. Not only can you travel so much faster than a bike, creating so much more mechanical advantage, but traveling with cars are more realistic when going long distances. You're not going to bike to Florida, or even just Niagara Falls for vacation, unless you're an athlete seeking a challenge. An electric car that doesn't produce greenhouse gases would be great, but a standard fossil fuel car still works.
Alright, well, let's see what you've learned.
We're going to give you 10 multiple choice questions. Answer the A, B, C, or D.
Let's go. What is the input component of the bike? The correct answer is C.
What is the output component of the bike? The correct answer is A.
What is not a side effect of biking that we discussed in this video? The correct answer is D. What is an alternative to biking that we discussed in this video? The correct answer is A.
A lower gear. The correct answer is B.
When you're riding your bike uphill, it is more efficient to use. The correct answer is B.
A higher gear. The correct answer is B.
When you go down a hill, you should use. The correct answer is B.
What is an advantage of having handlebars that we discussed in this video? The answer is C and D.
What did we say was the purpose of a bike? The correct answer is C. Well, that's it for today.
We hope you learn a lot.
See you later.